Welcome back to Conquest, the last alliance of... What is this?
It's Mountain Goat Gaming.
Oh, yeah.
G'day and welcome back to Mountain Goat Gaming. I'm Sean and I've got a lovely guest over here. Who are you?
I am Jacob from Conquest Creations.
Hey, Mr. Big Dog.
Like a solid, like, W tier celebrity here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A tier in like the MESBG scene.
Ah, thanks, Sean.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Zorb Z tier because his name starts with two Z's.
There we go, yeah. Not because he's down the bottom.
No, exactly. He is double Z tier.
Yeah.
But we're here today without Jay, sadly. He came up with a bit of a bug this morning, so he had to pull out.
Brother said, let's meet at 8:30. So I got in here at like 8 to get shit done. And then it is not 8:30 anymore.
It's not. It's very. It's well past 8:30. This was meant to all happen on Zoom, like our regular videos with PowerPoint and whatnot. But hey, me and Jacob are here in the same state, so we'll do this together. But we're going to talk about your three favourite heroes.
Yep.
Or your three favourite profiles, not necessarily heroes, but I think you've gone with all heroes from memory. And your three favourite armies.
Not gonna lie, I might have just misread your message and just chose heroes.
Yeah, look, that's fair.
Look, I don't think it changes anything. Heroes are the cool part of the game.
Exactly.
So my favourite models are going to be cool stuff, so it's going to... Yeah.
If I was to choose my three favourite, they would all be heroes. So...
Yeah.
It's fair and it's quite understanding that that's how most people would read it, like yourself. So...
Yeah.
But would you like to dive into armies or into models first?
How about we do like third and then second and second.
Okay, interesting.
Keep everyone, you know.
Okay, so you are doing this in order of least favourite in a way.
Yeah, third first. Yeah.
Cool. Third first.
I've given it an order because some of them I definitely like more than others.
Okay.
But this was tough, man. You asked me three favourite, I thought it was heroes, and armies, and I took like 8 hours to get back to you.
Yeah.
That is a tough question.
It's rough, and it's one that it's constantly changing for me. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say as well, is that like these are my three favorite
right now
at the moment, but even then, like it's really hard because I'm kind of stuck between there's models that I've had a great time playing with, but that's not necessarily because they're rules, that's just because situations that they've found themselves in
100%.
games. And then there's models that because of their rules I really like them, and that kind of makes it two different things, but I've got both of them in this list. So.
Yeah, awesome. And there's one that I'm very excited to talk about.
Oh yeah.
That I know that you've been a big fan of for a number of years.
For a long time.
So
yeah, viewers should know if they've watched like all of the really background niche content.
That's it. All right, well, let's dive into.
Let's do it. Let's go third favorite hero first.
Third favorite.
Because I think of all of them, this is my lowest one.
Yep.
But still up there. And this is a recent one as well.
Yeah.
Orc Taskmaster.
Big whippy boy.
Big whippy boy. Yeah, the longer the whip, the better he is.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
And it extends to the Rossato Taskmaster as well, because they're basically the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But these guys are awesome. So they're basically just a captain, but they only have one might instead of two. And they have the special rule that is called something.
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. Maybe Whips of the Masters?
Something along the lines of that, yeah.
But basically every time them or a friendly hero within 6 of them calls a move or march on a 4-up, it's free.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is very good, and when it comes off in a game, it is oppressive.
It's really good.
I've taken part in games, and a lot of people would have seen me get my ass walloped on the Conquest Creations Champions League, and that was done by Rossato Taskmaster. But still, nonetheless, they're very, very similar. They do the same job, but if you just keep rolling that 4+, free moves, free marches, and it's only the initial ones, or is it all heroics?
No, it's just moves and marches.
It's just moves and marches,
Yeah.
but still, it's outrageous.
I'm pretty
Getting
sure
those
it
free
used to
moves,
be
free
all
marches.
heroics in the previous edition, and that would make them easily one of the most powerful heroes in the game without a contest. I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, what
Applications for them.
applications? Okay, firstly, I think people see the 1 might with a 4-up free, and they think like, oh, it's kind of uncertain. I can just take a captain who has 2, and I know exactly what's going to happen. But the most called heroic in a game in general
Is a move.
especially when you're playing with the Orc Taskmaster. Some other armies maybe not, but in Mordor you're going to call a lot of moves.
Absolutely.
And each time you get a point of might back, it then gives you another opportunity to get that same might back. So, for example, if you start in a game, if you call 4 heroic moves regularly, well, now you've called 4 heroic moves. On average, you get 2 of those for free. So that's 6. But of those 2 that you got for free, well, there's a 50-50, so you get another one of those for free, so it's 7. So it keeps going the more you use it. Like, don't just think of it as
A 1-time or 2-time use.
yeah.
The more you use it, you're stacking your odds of getting it.
Yeah, so I've had games where Guritz has used like 5 or 6 points of might because he's gotten them for free from the Taskmaster, and then each time he gets it, you got another chance to get it. So it's really, really strong. And the reason I like it is because having might is fun.
Oh, having might is the best part of the game. It's something that I found playing Dunedain.
Yeah.
When you show up to the table and you go, cool, I've got 20 plus might to your 8.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Let me just out-mighting your opponent is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, it's definitely my style at the moment.
And it's also, with the Taskmaster, what I really like about him is you can come to the table with the Taskmaster, you've got the same amount of might as your opponent, and so your opponent's thinking, alright, cool, we're on the same level with might.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, oh, I've got this one for free. Okay, I'm down. I got this one for free. I'm down might.
Yeah.
And it just, and even going up against armies that have large amounts of might, like the Dunedain, suddenly when this other army's getting their might for free, I can't capitalize on their lack of might.
Yeah. And the mental impact that makes to your opponent as well is
Yeah.
huge.
Absolutely.
And yes, it only works on moves and marches, but if you do some weird mental gymnastics that we're going to go through, you kind of get everything for free. So like, let's say Zagdush calls a move and he gets it for free, so he still has full might. Well, now I can go in and call a heroic combat, and like I've got a move and a combat for 1 point of might instead of for 2. So you still will call the same amount of moves in a game, but you just get to call more combats, more strikes, more boosting stuff, and like that's the more exciting part of might. Like, yes, moving first, important, cool. And with a magic cast, like, yeah, I move first. But with most guys, it's like, cool, okay, I move first, I'm not surrounded, all good.
Yeah.
But then it's like, heroic combat, hell yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So you got more might to do other
The fun
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. The last thing about the Taskmaster is that boy has a strength 1 whip.
Yeah.
And it's literally never done anything.
But
when
on the
it
off
does,
chance it does something,
oh man, it's going to be so good.
cream.
And when you're charging a hero on horse with that Taskmaster, you're like, I've got a whip. People, it's so terrified. Even though it's strength 1, it's hilarious.
It's good. Alright. Well, Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, yep, good pick.
Good fun little model. We'll move on to your third favourite army.
Yeah, so this was a hard one. But one that I've been playing a lot recently is Army of Gothmog.
So this is the
Legendary
Legendary Legion. Yes. Okay.
The age of men is over. The time of the orc has come.
I really like that it's very classic. You've got Gothmog and a horde of orcs. You see it in the movies. That's cool. And it's got a lot of stuff. So you have access to a drummer and the Taskmaster. Taskmaster obviously just talked about. So with those two, you're really fast because you can drum and get free marches.
Yeah.
So fast is covered. You hit really hard because you're strength 4. Once per game, you reroll failed wounds. If you're against a man army, you get 12-inch +1 to wound around Gothmog.
Yeah.
So killing power,
Is
pretty
there.
through the roof. Resources, you've got for days because you've got Gothmog with the 6-inch Master of Battle and the Taskmaster, and you can take drummers, which is sort of a free march. So resources you covered. Numbers, you're actually pretty good.
You're getting some solid numbers in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So of the like 6 army building criteria, you've basically maxed out 4 of them.
Yeah.
In exchange for having a score of like 0 in the other 2. Your courage is absolutely terrible. Like, pretty much couldn't be worse.
Yeah, courage 2 basically everywhere. Gothmog's your highest courage.
He's courage 5.
He's
so
courage 5
alright.
still. Okay, yeah.
His stand fast affects other heroes, so that helps.
That's real handy.
You can take a shaman. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of them, but that's a whole nother topic. You can take them, and that'll cover the courage issue. And you've got terrible shooting, but that's fine.
That's fine. You're an orc. And another video that we would like to do with you in the future is actually doing a real deep dive on to Army of Gothmog. So we won't go too crazy into it.
Because I think there is a real deep dive to be had there. I think a lot of people see it and they think it's kind of a more beginner one because it's, you get a starter kit.
It feels very stock standard.
Yeah.
You've got your big hero, your big-ish hero in Gothmog.
Yeah.
Then you've got a bunch of his lieutenants, his 3 might heroes, and then you've got stock standard troops that are just shield wall, here you go, ready to go. There's nothing, there's no crazy magic, there's no crazy monsters, there's no flies, there's
no terror, none of that stuff. And I think it's the game in itself has so much nuance to it, with even if you had no special rules at all. And this kind of leans into that, but then you've got a ton of might to play around with. You've got a lot of special strikes out of those Morannons who have swords, axes, and maces, which is huge because Bash
start learning special strikes.
Incredible. So I think it's the kind of army that you can start the game with, and you can keep playing the game with and getting better with it. Yeah. And it really has a super high ceiling.
And see, an army that a lot of people say is a good army to start the game with is Army of the Dead. And in my personal opinion, it kind of teaches you the wrong things in how to start playing it. You play Army of the Dead in such a way that when you then transition into another army, you go, oh, okay, this is not how the game properly works. Yeah. Whereas I feel like Army of Gothmog, and I've never played Army of Gothmog, I've only versed it. Yeah. I feel like it's an army that I would give to a new player and say, this is how you're going to learn the game. Here's your heroes. Here's some extra kind of cool special rules like Master of Battle. And then we spoke about the army bonuses a little bit. Yeah. There's a few extra little things you can start learning. Special strikes. You're going to learn about spear supporting. You've got a small amount of cavalry in the sense of Gothmog on why you can learn about this.
You've got a ton of might.
You've got a ton of might to play around. There's a lot of what do you call it? If you make a mistake, a lot of leeway. If you make a mistake, you can recover from that. Yeah.
It's a great army. I recommend starting with it, and if you're really experienced, I recommend playing with it as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Phenomenal stuff. Okay, next up, back into favourite heroes. Second favourite hero.
This is a tough one, and this might break your heart a little bit, but second favourite is going to go to Ori the Dwarf from Thorin's Company. Second, not first.
Should have been first.
Try it. Just a mouthful. I don't like green food. Got any chips?
He's a lad, bro.
Justice to my boy Ori the Dwarf. And now this one is specifically
Thorin's Company. Champions Erebor one. Doesn't have a slingshot. Leave him at home.
Yeah, and it's all about that slingshot. I remember being there. You versus a fella called Ned many years ago now. Yeah. Where Ori sat on top of this rocky outcrop thing and just ping Knights of Dol Amroth like they were nothing. Yeah. It was just like 6. It was just like, and like this is all anecdotal, but that's why we love these kind of models.
He's one that I've just had such a great experience playing with. And look, I do think he's good. I think that obviously Thorin's Company is maybe lacking, so that kind of makes it like, if the rest of Thorin's Company was really, really powerful, then you'd be like, wow, he's one of the most powerful characters out there. Yeah. Because they need powerful characters to bring them up, it's totally fine. So yeah, if he stays still, he gets 2 shots with the slingshot. Strength 1, but if he rolls a 6, it ignores all in the ways and auto wounds. He has 2 shots. His other rule, which is also really good, is he basically has a 3-inch blood and glory bubble for all the members of Thorin's Company, which is really good. But no, it's definitely that slingshot is why he's so much fun to play with. Because if you can just get him into a position where he can sit there and shoot, which is actually doable if you're playing with the right amount of terrain. Like he'll climb up a terrain piece, and I love it because that's like then you're really interacting with the terrain. And he sits there and he rolls 2 dice every turn, and he's got a point of might if you really need to spend it. You take big heroes off their mounts, you start just killing banners, things like that.
Now, is that roll of a 6 to auto win, is that a natural 6, or can you use
You can might it. It's just a 6 to hit.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Pretty sure.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
got the rules up here.
Yeah, when Ori scores a 6 when rolling to hit, doesn't say natural.
Yeah, awesome. So if you get a hero down to, a point,
Yeah.
you know, or so he's got like 1 wound left, no fade or whatever, you go, cool, Ori's 2 shots, bang.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'll use a point of might and cool, now old mate's gone.
Yeah.
You do it to mounts. Now, does that rule work in a similar vein to Legolas's, where he can shoot into combat?
It can't shoot into combat, which is sad, but
Yeah.
that's fine. You gotta like.
It would have been pretty sick though.
You gotta do some work to get it. My highlight of playing Ori was playing a big siege on the direct deep terrain. So a big castle, we had a big wall, and Ori just sat up in a tower, and every single turn fired at Azog. And over the course of a few turns, he did a wound to Azog. Azog was the leader, failed his fate, so Azog's 2 wounds left. A couple turns later, Ori has a look at him. He's not engaged because of something to do with the terrain. I think he didn't have line of sight, something like that. For some reason, he's not fighting. Ori chucks his 2 dice and gets 2 sixes.
Oh, let's go.
To kill an Azog with 3 points of might on him still.
That's
It
phenomenal.
was so good. It was
that's disgusting.
the greatest Ori moment ever.
Yeah, that's feral.
Yeah.
And those are the moments in the game that we love, and why we suddenly have these moments with particular heroes. And like my favorite like hero, not necessarily because of the profile, but because of times I've had with him, is Gildor Glorion.
Yeah.
That man, that elf has, oh my lord, has
Yeah.
done some work for me. I call him a pseudo Tom Bombadil because he's a little prick that runs around and just throws cheeky transfixes.
Yeah.
The one that will always get it for me is I was versing the Bears and we were playing Seize the Prize, and all my heroes and all my elves passed their courage. I needed one of them to fail for me to win the game. If I didn't win the game, if I passed all my courage, the Bears were in range to charge and take the prize and win and yada yada.
Yeah.
Gildor goes, I got you, boy. Snake eyes.
Oh yeah.
And it's moments like that. It's just like, oh, this is why I love this model. This is why I love those games. You know, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
And I love Ori because no one ever talks about him. No
Yeah.
one ever really plays him. So then, for me to be his champion, I'm like, hell yeah, everyone needs to know about this guy.
everyone's got to love Ori, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, mate, that haircut, the bangs.
Dude, what a haircut. Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Or gone too soon though. R.I.P. Balance
Rip,
to him.
rip.
Yep.
He was writing his book.
Write his book.
He was just trying to
Goblins got in the way.
goblin.
You
Wait,
know,
this isn't the noobs.
Oh, this was actually the most natural, unintentional segue ever though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed with myself. Moria.
Goblin.
Goblins.
Gribbly gobbos.
Man, Moria's awesome. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. I've been touching on Moria a little bit recently.
Yeah, as
with the
seen
dragon?
on the channel.
Yes, as seen on Conquest Creations.
R.I.P. every single mod in my army.
I'm pretty sure everyone who's subbed to this channel at the moment and in the future is already a sub of Jacob.
Get on
But
it, boys.
if you're not, jump on there. Go
Yeah.
check me out playing a dragon.
Yep.
I absolutely loved it.
Great
to the point
game.
where I kind of just want to play a dragon now.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
and Moria is just, it's a cool little thing. There's so much
Yeah.
you can do with Moria. You can take a dragon, which we've briefly spoken about. You can take the Watcher. You can take drakes, and then you've got 40 million goblins just.
Yeah. So this is one that I haven't actually played in a long time. So it's kind of going back to like kind of memories with it. I played it a ton right when the current edition came out, so kind of 2019.
2019, 18 kind of.
Yeah. And so I really like it for a few reasons. Firstly, as you said, there's a million different ways to play it that always feel fresh. So you got, Goblin Horde, you chuck in a big monster, you just take a bunch of little monsters, and all of them feel very different.
Yeah. There's a different way of playing Balrog Moria, than Dragon Moria, than Goblin Horde Moria, a mix mash of them all. Or you can just have a lot of fun and go, I'm just taking the big scary things.
Yeah, you can go super low model count if you want. A regular Moria Goblin is 4 points and is really good.
Yeah.
Like for 4 points, they're great.
Phenomenal. And the fact that they can get to D5 for another point. So 5 points, D5, they sit there shielding, and most times like, cool, it takes me as much time to kill one goblin, and there's 50 of these little dudes, as it does to kill an elf, and there's only 20 of them.
Yeah, like if you think of it from the perspective of a high elf, like a Lotharian guy with Spirit and Shields 11 points, he interacts with a Warrior of Dale the exact same as a Goblin, as a Moria Goblin with Shield, because they're both D5 Strength 3, and the high elf has a higher fight than both of them.
Yeah.
So you can get huge value. Like that's a 3 point difference between the Warrior of Dale and the Goblin. So huge difference for a lot of matchups. It's really, really good.
It's absolutely wild, yeah. And when a Goblin kills, say, an elf, or in that video that we were playing, a Grimhammer, you really feel it.
Yeah.
Like every time one of those Grimhammers died, and you had 18 of them, every time I killed one, I was like, oh my god, things are going really well for me. And again, every time I killed one, Jacob's sitting like, oh, I've just lost another Grimmy.
Yeah,
it's
to a Goblin.
Yeah, and it's that, whereas I lose 2 Goblins, and I'm like,
don't really care.
Cool, I've got so many more.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fun to be had with Moria. What's your thoughts on, is this a beginner army, or where do you sit with this?
Well, because you've got so many different ways to play it, I think it's one of those ones that you can, like, sure, if you're a beginner, you get Durbos, you get Groblog, and you get 2 packs of Moria Goblins. There's 48, and that's a playable, actually good army. You get 1 pack of Prowlers, there's 4 Prowlers in there. It's all of a sudden really good. You get a Bat Swarm, and you've got a really, really competitive strong army. But if you don't have the Prowlers and the Bat Swarm, it's very straightforward as well. When you start throwing those extra ones in, it can get really technical to get the most out of it, which I really, really like. So you can kind of grow it with your skill level.
Yeah, so it scales with your skill level. You start off with your regular heroes, Durbos, Groblog, whatever, move in with the regular goblins, and then as you feel comfortable or you want to learn new things, you go, cool, here's a Bat Swarm. Yeah. Here's my Goblin Prowlers. How do I get the most out of these guys? Because, they're always two-handing, but they've also got a throwing weapon. Ooh, let's try out a monster. Yeah. There's a lot of fun to be had, and I think as we kind of just touched on there, it really helps you grow in the game as well. It pushes your boundaries. Oh yeah. As you bring in new profiles.
It's got exciting things, like everyone loves the Balrog, and if you're new at the game, you're like, fuck yeah, the Balrog. That's why I'm playing Middle Earth. Yeah, I'm gonna get the Balrog, and it's good. I think that I have some takes on Moria that differ from what a lot of other people think. I think a lot of people don't really rate the Balrog. I think they're completely wildly incorrect. I think the Balrog's really, really good.
Yeah. A lot of people look at it as a noob stomper. It's the Balrog's here. If you're a noob, you're gonna get stomped. If you're going up against someone who is experienced, they know how to kind of counteract it. But if you, as you are an experienced player, you can get the most out of the Balrog.
Oh yeah, the Balrog's I like him a lot, and he's a ton of fun as well.
There's nothing more exciting than, and this is what I'm feeling at the moment with the dragon, of just holding this big model in your hand as you walk from table to table, and you just go, I place this down here, and this is my one big thing. Yeah, and my Balrog has gotten broken and destroyed, and I really want to just paint a new one. Do it.
And I'm really keen to, so I can just sit in my display case and kind of refresh, get my Moria out and play it a lot. Because a lot of people have been borrowing it at the moment.
Yeah, I've been borrowing it.
You've borrowed it, Alex has borrowed it. So I'm like, maybe I should get it out again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a phenomenal list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
No awesome segue or transition into the next one.
Well, you know someone who likes Moria as well.
Oh damn! He's done it. He's done it. He liked Moria so much
He
that
went
he
there.
lost his head over it.
Yep. Thror. Big
Rip.
Daddy Thror.
Rip Thror.
Rest in peace. Yep. Gone too soon.
Gone too soon. So your favourite
Favorite model,
model in
currently
the game
is Thror.
is Thror. And why Thror? I like Thror, but I don't think I would ever consider him to be my favourite model. And when I speak to someone, I wouldn't put him in that caliber of like, that's potentially someone's favourite model.
Yeah, and I get that. This guy is just so good at everything that he needs to do. He's a 6-inch banner who just like, that's so good being a 6-inch banner off the bat. The 3 attacks at strength 4 means he doesn't really kill that much stuff, which is actually fine with me because he's just an old dude with a sword and he's just there grinding.
He's just doing his best, yeah.
I mean the real reason is the D9 and the Arkansas.
D9 and the Arkansas. He's an absolute menace to get through with that D9.
Yup.
And then once you get through him, he just has to keep rolling 4s. Because the Arkenstone's rule is if you roll a 4, it is a 4+.
Yeah. So
If you roll a 4+, you get your fate back.
yep.
If you roll a 3, you pass your fate, but you lose the Arkenstone.
Yeah. So your fate's on 3, but on 4 up you keep it.
And he's only got 1 fate.
One
naturally.
fate. So you just I haven't done a Yellow Alliance Thror and Galadriel with the mirror yet, but that would be hilarious.
That would. Who needs Gua here? It's not bird bath. It's dwarven bath.
It's Dwarf Bard, yeah. So he's just so good at staying alive, and because he's a 6-inch banner, everyone wants to kill him, so everyone tries to kill him, and they basically always fail.
Yeah.
Just played at Sill, which was a 6-game tournament, and he didn't take a wound all tournament. And he didn't take a wound, but he was stuck in every fight. It's not like I was just trying to keep him alive, so he was in the back. He was front row fighting him.
And that's the thing is like, yes, he's only strength 4, so he's not a major killing machine. But you're not scared of just throwing him into the ranks and going, cool, here's my dude. He's an extra strength 4 model that I can run around with and try and get these kills with. It's probably not going to take much damage.
Yeah.
And even if my opponent strikes against him, what are the odds that they're doing damage? Because they're probably also strength 4.
The big meme is that he also has a shield.
Yeah.
Just to make him even more reliable. So if someone's gone in their higher fight and you still, like, if they're, charging in on a horse, they're 3 attacks base, they get 4. It's 4 dice versus 6. A lot of the times you can still win that or draw the extra point of might out of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, if they've used a might to strike, they use a might to win the fight. And then it's like, cool.
Now you're probably gonna need might to kill me.
You're gonna need 6s by 4s, probably.
Yeah, it's wild. He's so good at draining might, and that's one of my favorite things in this game is draining my opponent's might. That's why I love my Gondor so much, and why I see Boromir, for example, as a support hero.
Yeah.
So he does his stuff with his banner, and then he comes in late game. But I've got my other 2 heroes, or 3 heroes, depending on the list.
Yeah.
Who are their goal is to drain my opponent's might.
Yeah.
You go and you go, I'm going to call a move here. Is it really advantageous for me? Not really. But I'm in a position enough that I'm going to threaten my opponent thinking, oh, maybe I should also use might.
Yeah.
So it's all about draining that might, and then I can bring Boromir in. So whenever you can drain might, and Thror is brilliant at it,
Yeah.
you take that
And
opportunity.
he's only 120 points as well. So take Elrond, for example, who I think he's 170.
190 if you kit him
Oh
out on
my
horse and armor and everything. Like, dude's price.
Yeah. After his horses died, he's just fight 6, 3 attacks.
Yeah.
He's hitting just as hard as Thror, but Thror's also that 6-inch banner and is also like unkillable. So he's so reliable, especially compared to some of like the Celeborns, Glorfindels, Amders. You look at Thror and you're like, wow, he's really solid. A little thing about him is he can't take a mount, and I really, really like that because it's so rare in the movies that we actually see heroes fighting on their mounts.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
because the only thing that comes to mind is Dane on his rocket sausage.
Dane on rocket sausage,
and
Thranduil on
Helm's
elk.
Deep.
Yep. Thranduil we see on elk.
Yep, Thranduil on elk as well.
But like everyone who drops their Boromir of Gondor on a horse in, it's like, well, not a single time. Like we saw him ride in on a horse, but we never see him fighting on a horse.
Yeah.
So I like him being on foot. Yeah.
Also, there's not that opportunity for you to go, I could spend 10 points to get a mount, and then have that mount subsequently die and you've wasted 10 points, which could have been a Grim Hammer.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it's a classic.
So
So there's two stories I want to tell about Thror before we move on. First one is he's the best heroic challenger in the game.
Yep.
Straight up. So at Sill, my opponent had Thranduil and two Palace Guard captains. One of the Palace Guard captains was way off the other side of the board on like a side quest mission that was hilarious.
Just doing his own thing.
So it was one Palace Guard captain and Thranduil. Thranduil had 3 might. The Palace Guard captain used a might on a move, so he's down to 1. Thror gets into Thranduil, calls a heroic challenge. And if he says no, all of a sudden he's got 1 might left. And I've got, I think it's 8. Because I've got 7.
Yeah.
Say 7. In which case I'll just rinse him from there. So he has to accept with Thranduil. Or he does decide to accept with Thranduil. And then Thranduil won, I think it was 8 fights in a row. And did not wound Thror.
Amazing.
I passed
that's
4
hard.
Arcane Stones with it. It was so good. Completely neutralized Thranduil. And it was hilarious because he kept winning the fight. So we had our battle lines. And he would win the fight, so Thror would push back. And then he was calling heroic moves and then moving first. So Thror ended up like 5 or 6 inches away from where he started. And it was Thranduil versus Thror just away from the rest of the army. Because then when I did move first, I could choose, I think I did, run forwards. But there was enough times where he was moving first that, like, they just soloed each other walking backwards on the field. It was a heap of fun. And, like, super thematic as well. We were on a Dwarven table as well, one of the direct hit ones. And Thranduil, like, just absolutely obliterating Thror, but him taking no damage. It was so cool.
Amazing.
My other one was when we played at some narrative tournaments, us together, and for some reason there was a rule where Sauron got monstrous charge or something silly like that.
Yeah.
They go in, Sauron knocks Thror prone, does 6 wounds to him, and I Arcane Stone every single one.
Was this the same game that Glorion came in clutch, killing
Killed a full stat Kierdan who had blinding
light up? Yeah, that's right. Oh,
with shooting, like not in combat.
yeah. Sensational.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal game.
Yep. So Thror, he's dope. Everyone get around him.
Do it. Also, we're going to talk about it soon, but the cheapest army to get into the game with.
The army of Thror.
The army of
Holy
Whoa.
shit, didn't that work out well?
Woo.
How did that happen?
His favorite army and his favorite hero
kind of lines up.
Kind of links, which makes sense. You've been playing them for, again, years now.
A long time, yeah. Painted them for 2019, Arda Unleashed. Maybe.
Oh, yeah,
Might
was
have
that?
been
Yeah.
2019, yeah.
Because we went as doubles partners.
Yeah.
That was when I painted up my
Your
Dale.
first Dale, yeah.
My first Dale,
That's
the
awesome.
yellow Dale, which if you've followed me around the internet since 2019, you would have seen them
Famous.
pop up. Yeah,
Famous, yeah.
they're all over the early videos of Conquest Creations.
Yep.
So go back to his backlog.
Watch them. They're super old. They're really bad battle reports.
They're so good though. They're so good though.
But dude, Army of Thror is awesome. It's so. In a video, I recommended them as the best army for beginners to start in, and I did another video where I was talking about my favorite heroes or my favorite, most fun models to play, and it had Thror in it as well. And I've had people comment on both these videos, being like, "Oh, this is bias. You just like Army of Thror." I'm like, "Well, like literally, that's not how bias works. Like,
It's just the
I'm
point of the video
saying,
as well.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you voted for this thing that you like? Well, you're a biased voter. It's like, well, like, that's how that works. Like, but that's, I don't know. confused me, but that's
it's
okay.
very bizarre.
Yeah.
It is very, very bizarre.
But Army Thror, I'll give you my quick rundown on why they're
Go
so
for
sick. Okay, you got the coolest heroes. Thror, absolute
Chad.
gangster. Thrain, so good. So he's basically a Master Forge Hammer, battlefield wide stand fast, but affects
So
all dwarves.
good.
So you just, all your courage warriors are solved. Thorin, who's just 100 points, 3s everywhere, can take the Oaken Shield, and once per game gives you guys +1 strength. We're going to come back to that. Dwalin, who is 3 attacks, strength 5, with axes, so he can pierce, he can get +1 for 7, and he can lower his fight by D3 to get reroll failed wounds.
He's an absolute blender.
He is wild. Balin, who has...
Underrated as well.
Super underrated. He's only D5, which is kind of crazy. He's
Mental.
the lowest defense, but Longbeard, so you can reroll priority, which gives you the rare ability to choose to lose priority sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really helpful in those early game maneuverings. Grimhammer Captain, also pretty cool.
And also, your only access to March, which is a question that I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, no, you don't need March, it's boring.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
Yep, done. Don't worry about it too
Done.
much. Your movement 5 anyway, so your March isn't really going to solve your movement problems. And if you choose to take a Grimhammer Captain over Dwalin,
You're
and
really
then you
losing out
march?
on
yeah,
killing and everything else. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, you're already slow. Spending one of your points of might to move slightly faster once per game is not going to solve the problem of you being slow.
Yeah.
We get into the warriors. Grimhammers, coolest models, coolest warriors, because you can bash, pierce, two-hand, and have a throwing weapon. So every single turn you have tactical options, no matter what you're doing. The bash is incredible. Thror, another reason I like him, gives you +1 strength on your Grimhammers.
For 1 point?
For 1 point.
one
So you
point.
got a strength 4. Pair that with Thorin, who gives them +1 strength once per game. Strength
Suddenly
5.
strength 5.
You pierce, strength 6, and then you two-hand, and you do insane damage. It's wild.
Yeah, that's huge.
And then warriors are variable, are just solid all round.
Yeah,
Give them
and
Spirit Shield.
you're essentially, apart from, what's his name, Balin, who is D5, your
Yeah.
entire army has access to D7. So
Yes.
you've got D6 warriors are variable, give them a shield, which you're going to do.
Or every single time, no matter what.
D7. And they're also your access to spears, which a lot of dwarf armies, for whatever reason, don't have spears.
Yeah.
They can take spears, and that is lovely.
Yeah.
Then you've got your Grimhammers, base D7.
Yeah.
Your army is a slow moving tank that gets
Yeah.
there and then eventually just molters up. It's almost a Death Guard-esque.
Yeah.
Like Heresy era Death Guard X, slow moving, just a force. Just once they hit you, you're gonna suffer.
And I really enjoy playing them because they don't have that lethal threat like a, King Lassar on horse who's going to go in and kill 4 models a turn type thing. I find that they play a lot of turns. So I think my average turn count in Syl would have been much higher than a lot of other armies. Like I'm playing 10, 12 turns every game.
Yeah.
And obviously Army of Thror is really slow, but because they're so durable, the game goes for more turns, which means that you have more time to maneuver and to get where you're going. Yes, your opponent's going to get there first, but in a game of Storm the Camp, for example, because we played so many turns, I had ample time to get into
get
the
yourself
camp.
there.
And it just means so much happens in a game. Like there's been a few games where I reckon I've only killed 2 or 3 models a turn, but then I've done that 10 turns in a row, and all of a sudden
Fair enough.
my opponent doesn't have an army anymore.
Yeah. That'll bloody do it.
Yeah.
When you've got that killing potential, as you said, you can get up to that strength 6. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're laughing. Strength 6 +1.
Yeah, I forgot to even talk about the Ring of Durin. Thror has a once per game reroll priority.
Yeah.
Add that onto Thror.
Add that onto Balin as well.
Yeah.
Suddenly you've got, is it 3?
4 rerolls.
4
priority
rerolls, which is huge.
And then, so the late game, you either use them early or late, and you've got 4, so generally both.
Yeah.
And then with the battlefield-wide stand fast, it might not be worth someone to call a heroic move just to tie up Thrain. So then you use those priority rerolls to just guarantee you can get the late game stand fast. So no dwarf runs away anywhere on the battlefield. So your objectives are safe. All that stuff's good. Like it's just reliable.
Yeah. So it seems like it almost ticks all the boxes for an army. It doesn't have any shooting apart from throwing weapons.
Yeah.
But it ticks the courage box.
Yeah,
It
courage is fine.
ticks the model count number.
Yep.
Ticks the might number.
Yep.
Access to heroes and killy heroes as well. Because as much, looking at Dwalin mainly for that one, as much as this game isn't just about killing, as much as you and people want it to be, you still need access.
You still have to kill
You still got to kill stuff, so you still want access to those killy heroes.
Yeah.
This army just seems to tick so many good boxes, and as mentioned a little bit earlier, it is such a good beginner army. One, incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
You go out and buy that
Thror and Thrain box.
Thror and Thrain box,
And a box of Grim Hammers.
a box of Grim Hammers.
That's
if you want to
500
then
points.
upgrade that, you go cool second box of Grim Hammers or Warriors of Erebor.
Yep.
And then you go into the box of Balin,
Thorin,
and Dwalin.
Yeah.
And suddenly that's your entire army.
Yeah. I've got.
It's four boxes
So-
at most, maybe 5.
No, it's 4. It's 4. You do Grim Hammers, Warriors of Erebor, the Thorin bundle, Thror and Thrain. That's all I've got. I played probably 50 games with it, I reckon. I would think it was a little bit unfair if I didn't talk about the downsides of Army and Thror.
Of course.
Because they do exist for sure. No shooting really sucks. It just does. Like, it means that basically anyone with any shooting at all can decide where you're fighting on the battlefield. You're really slow, which, as much as I said that didn't matter earlier, that really does matter. Things like seize the prize, storm the camp, destroy the supplies. Yeah, you're slow. That kind of sucks.
They can be rough, but with good movement. And learning how to move in this game is very, very difficult. But if you can start to master deployment and movement, suddenly your 5-inch move isn't that bad. But it's still ultimately always going to be rough compared to the move 6 upwards army. So.
And it does have some matchups that it really doesn't like. Dragons? Well, any big hero, pretty much.
Yeah.
So like your Helm Hammerhands, your Elendils, Elisars, Gilgalads, Azogs, Bolgs. Any army with those is a really, really tough matchup because they don't care about your defense 9 that much and they don't care about your defense 7 that much.
Yeah.
And if they can go in and they can kill, charge 2 Grim Hammers, call a combat, charge 2 more, they can kill 4 a turn.
Yeah, 4 Grim Hammers a turn when you're, at 600 plus running, 18 Grim Hammers?
Yeah, you should always max out Thror's Guardians of the King.
Yeah, it can be rough.
It gets pretty rough pretty quickly. I played against a Pits of Dol Guldur where literally Azog soloed me. The rest of the army stayed back and Azog killed everything. And that obviously kind of sucks. I wouldn't say that Army of Thror, if there was a game that my life depended on, I'm probably not bringing Army of Thror.
Yeah.
But for the games that it is not one of those matchups, it's just so much fun that I'll always stand by it.
It's also it's a super easy army list to just come up with in your head if you just want a quick game with your mates.
Yeah.
You put it into a box or something, and you can throw it onto the table really, really quickly. It's a lot of fun taking that to a mate's place, watching them scramble around out of their box, trying to I need a goblin prowler, and I need a goblin spear and shield. I need a bat. I need this and that, and you just go, cool.
Yeah, so
there's everything.
Thror with 15 Guardians of the King is 300 points, and you start with that in 100% of your lists.
Yeah.
And then Thrain's 100 points, and 120. And Warriors of Erebor Spear and Shield at 10 points.
Yeah.
So we just wrote a 500 point list. Thror, 15 Guardians of the King, Thrain, 8 guys Spear and Shield.
Laughing.
Yep.
Super easy.
Yep.
There's none of that janky trying to find stuff. Who goes in what warband? You've got two warrior models. You go, cool. I just need this many here, done. Easy.
And my next way of playing it is going to be to have just to drop Girion in, because the way I'm always playing is Thror with a full warband, and then my other heroes have relatively empty warbands. So I'm going to drop Girion in to solve that shooting problem. It's got some might as well as
potentially
strike
shots.
And I think that'll really help, especially with those big hero matchups where all of a sudden, if Elendil's charging at me, I've got a Girion to shoot that horse out.
Yeah.
So if anyone has a Girion, I'm on the market for Girion.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you mine.
No, I wish I could have it.
It's so good though. Shout out to Albert. Anyway,
well,
we'll end it here.
Cool. Something good.
That was thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me on.
No, We really appreciate it
Right.
at MGG, our new channel.
If anyone wants to just call me to talk about Army of Thror, like I'm there for it.
The dude will shill something chronic for Army of Thrall. If he could get paid by Army of Thrall, he.
Right, I'll contact Games Workshop. It's like, hey, can I have an affiliate link? But
Just-
just for Army of Thrall.
Just
yeah.
Army of Thrall. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But no, huge. And 3 really cool profiles. 3 really cool armies that we've spoken about here. And as mentioned, I want to get you back on. We can deep dive into Army of Gothmog a bit more because,
Absolutely.
as you alluded to, there are a lot of nuances to that list that a lot of people on a surface level probably don't see.
Yeah.
So it's something we definitely want to look into more.
Yeah, and keen to get into some more technical stuff as well. On Conquest, I don't really do videos where we just talk about really specific stuff. So keen to do a little bit
And
of that.
that's kind of what we're trying to do here at Mountain Goat Gaming is try and dive a bit deeper into the technical side of things. So there's a few videos coming up that I'm excited to do where we're going to talk deeply into how heroic actions work and when you should use them, what heroes are best for them, and so on and so on. So these deeper dives into the game, I'm very, very excited for.
Nice.
But for now, from me, from Jacob, to you guys watching, thank you.
Thanks for listening.